Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Animal Kingdom Season 5, Episode 10. This is an episode entitled Relentless. I can never say Relentless right. It always sounds like I'm losing 5 different letters in it. But you know what?
I think you said it pretty well.
Give
yourself a pat on the back. Yeah.
Okay, alright. Now that I've given myself a pat on the back for saying a word, we will talk about this episode. It goes out with a bang, quite literally. It took a while to get there, though.
Yeah, this episode, there felt like there was sort of just a lot of moving parts to kind of get to that big sort of bang, as you said, at the end. There are spoilers ahead, by the way, just in case you guys didn't know it was coming up.
I will say this, though. These final 4 minutes of this episode may be my favorite 4 minutes of this entire season. I love nothing more than watching just a really irritating bad guy stand up there and be like, I am going to take over your life. I am going to control your mind, body, and soul. All of your money, all of your worldly possessions belong to boom. And then they just go.
All right, so before we get too much further into this, if you're enjoying this video and you want more Animal Kingdom reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have new videos up every Sunday night after the episode.
What did you think of my impression of Living Good? I'm not actually sure it was an impression.
Hell yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Okay, listen, that whole scene at the end there, I truly didn't know where they were going with this other cop that the Codys have been paying off. This cop, first was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll try to help you out, Darren. This guy's looking into you. Living's Good is looking into you. He's trying to figure some stuff out. Stop sending money overseas, which of course we learned he wasn't, but he was giving him some information. Then it looked like this cop was turning on them and was like, okay, I'm going to get all the Cody Boys together and I'm going to bring Living's Good in here and then we're going to deal with things that way. I was like, oh no, here comes the setup. I was honestly shocked as Living's Good was going on and on and on about his dastardly plan to take them all down and make their lives a living hell, for that cop to just shoot him in the head like that and be like, this is also a service I can offer you, but it'll cost you $5,000. This is a burner. Don't worry about it. All the best to you. I was like, whoa, okay, so this cop is really all in with the Codys, and he was looking for an opportunity to really show his loyalty to them.
This was great. I'm not going to miss our DEA agent friend. This guy sucked. I'm happy he's gone.
Well, the other thing that was kind of interesting about the way this cop left it is he left Living's Good there. He left his body there. So he's now killed this DEA agent with a burner, so it's not going to come back to him. But the Cody Boys are left to clean up the mess with the body. So the cop also sort of is like, you can trust me, but now, it has to be sort of around both ways because I know that you have this body and it's a DEA agent and it's in your bar and you have to deal with it.
I think it sets up a delightfully messy situation moving forward, and I think it's by far one of the best cliffhangers we've got, where, okay, this isn't just any dead body, this is a dead body that presumably people are going to be like, where did this guy go? What was this guy up to?
Yeah. If he even told one person that he was going to meet up with the Cody Boys, it's going to be huge trouble. And it also then might bring to light more of this son of a beach bar that is down the road. Is this bar really just a bar? I feel like there's got to be more to it. I was like, is it just a bar? Is this new guy going to be a love interest for Darren? Is he just going to be there to be a foil for him? Is he working for Living's Good? I thought maybe he was a CI or a plant down the beach to just kind of keep an eye on things, keep an eye on Darren, bring information back to Living's Good. If that connection is actually happening, this guy down the beach might be a problem, an even further problem.
This is what I'm going to theorize here. I'm going to guess that I don't think some of the beach people were maybe actual agents, but I think maybe, like you suggested, they were CIs, and maybe our DEA buddies were just sort of like, hey, I got a favor I need to ask. Do you mind going in there and ruffling some feathers? And he set it up so that, okay, the bar could be shut down, all this sort of stuff could get in motion, and all of this was delightfully messy, though I gotta say, Darren, you gotta chill out when you go into these government buildings and get really angry at people. Shouldn't you know by now that this is not gonna work?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Pope, because it seems like since Pope came back from his journey to wherever in the mountains, in the desert, and all this other stuff that was going on, he's come back. He cleaned out everything with Smurf. He's trying to find his own footing. We saw that in the last episode. In this episode, it feels like he really is trying to be more of a leader. He, was ready to get rid of this truck he needed to break down. He brought it over to Pete's garage. Everyone at Pete's garage is basically like, nope, we don't deal with the Codys anymore. Bye. And this is a very long-standing relationship. Since Pope was a little boy, they've been going to Pete's. So it made me kind of wonder what is really going on. Is Pete really worried that the Codys are too hot, like he's saying? Or did he not actually flush all that coke and he's keeping that money from himself and he's just burning the Codys?
Ding, I think it is option number 2. Not only is this option way more fun, it's just also, like you said, Pete's Garage has been in this business for decades now. Like, at what point are they going to be, all of a sudden now it's too dangerous, let's back ourselves out of this room? It's just sort of like, there obviously has to be some other sort of reason that's going on here, whether it be that Pete's Garage is all of a sudden trying to be on the straight and narrow, which I don't believe for a second, or they've got another opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Smurf is pretty wild. I mean, I can't imagine that in all these years, Pete hasn't had some sort of heat brought on him because of something that Smurf has done. And she was never cut off. It just feels like now that the relationship with Smurf is done because Smurf is dead, that Pete is kind of like, okay, do I want to keep working with the Cody Boys? Because he's had, Darren come to him, Jay come to him, now Pope has come to him, that he kind of maybe just feels like, okay, things were really nice and settled with Smurf, as settled as they can be. I know what to expect with her. But now that she's gone, each one of these guys thinks they're the leader. And he's even said to them, you just got to pick somebody and move forward. Just stop it. That maybe he's just like, you know what, I'm done with them. So why not take this and go and sell it myself? And I'm done with them.
Maybe it's just too messy for him to have to kind of constantly deal with all these sort of different representatives, right?
Or deal with the micromanaging where it's like, I already talked to Jay. I already talked to Pope. I don't also need to talk to you. Just send over one person. Yeah.
These guys, this is going to be the total get off my lawn moment of this video. These guys all think they got it so easy. Well, back in Smurf's day, she put in the work. She had it all set up.
That's right.
Okay, Craig, I'll say this. I enjoyed the Craig storyline only because of the fact that Craig deserved a very high percentage of everything that he was getting over being a total jerk face for most of the season.
It was nice to see Craig finally break down a bit and sort of explain some of his pain to his brothers and to Jay, to actually be like, you don't understand. My son has been taken. You guys don't get what this is all sort of about or how this feels or what I'm going through. We know because we've all been watching what he's been going through by himself and some of the crazy things he's been pulling and all that. But it was good to see him finally open up somewhat to them and be like, this is what's going on. Even a little bit later when he meets up with Frankie, it was still the same thing. He did open up a little bit more. He needs someone to talk to.
He needs someone that was going to be there for him, but also hold him accountable and basically be like, okay, I know you're hurting a lot here, Craig. I know some bad things have happened to you, but have you also considered that, you and you and Ren are in this relationship and you're both criminals and you're saying my criminal job is more important than your criminal job, you don't get to do this anymore, like that's not cool, that's not all right.
There was a part of me that was actually wondering when Craig sat down with the guys and was like, you don't get it, you don't get what I'm going through, like my son is gone sort of thing. I was kind of waiting for the moment where Pope was going to be saying, what? Like Nick is gone? Okay, now it's time for the family to come together and get your son back. Because Pope especially, I mean, he just did this for a complete stranger to bring family back together. Nick is his nephew. Like, he is part of the family. I was kind of surprised that they weren't all just going to come together and get that kid back.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're going to consider that moving forward. I certainly don't think we've seen the last of Ren. I think one way or another, this is going to all kind of come circling back.
Yep.
I like the Smurf flashbacks this week. I said it. Here's why I'm saying it.
All right.
It is ludicrous and just very funny to me to think about people being this desperate for VCRs. I know it was a different time, but still desperate.
I grew up in that time. Getting a VCR was, a really big deal. It was like getting a PlayStation 5 these days where can't really get your hands on them. It was just new technology. It was so expensive. It was crazy cool to have this idea that you could actually record your own shows. I remember, like, as a teenager, waiting at the record button for a show to come on to record. I still have tapes and tapes of old, like, hilarious House of Frightenstein episodes and stuff like that. For anyone else out there that's Canadian, you remember that show. That sort of feeling of the VCR, I really like that.
It was nostalgic, and it was also just really weird, the whole, here, you buy a VCR from us, here is a certain tape that we cannot discuss further here at this channel. It's like, why is this a 2-for-1 sale? Like, what did that come from?
It was also good to see Billy back, because I said it in the other review we did too, that this actor is just so good. Like, he's so good. He feels like he is legitimately Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
Younger. Like, he's so great. So it was great to see him back. Then we saw all the stuff with Max, where Max threatens Smurf's kids. That if she was trying to color outside the lines a bit to be like, oh, well, I sold these VCRs not on your turf, so I don't have to pay you. And Max is kind of like, that's not how it works. But the minute that you're going to threaten her kids, like, this next episode is going to go down with Max.
I'm looking forward to that. Really, it's just like, we still don't need any of this, at least in my mind. Like, I didn't need anything with Smurf in this episode.
No, it didn't move the needle on what's going on in the present. But, I mean, we've sort of said this all along, that the flashbacks are really good. It just is its own show.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm going to enjoy watching Max get his inevitable comeuppance. Like, it is going to be fun. It's just not going to be necessary.
Yeah.
But ultimately, there's some good stuff in this episode. I think this final few minutes set the stage for some real craziness moving forward.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about Season 5, Episode 10? Was it relentless enough for you? I have to say it slowly, otherwise it doesn't work. Let us know. And give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you here next time.